This is for those who inspire us.
You have helped shape our minds.
You have changed the world, one of us at a time.
For all of that, we say thank you.
This song is for those who inspire us today, who always lend a helping hand to help show us the way. This song is for those who see their students through the tough times in their lives. For that we say thank you. You have made a difference. You have shaped our minds. You have changed the world, one child at a time. You have always been there in everything you do. I hope that you're as proud of me as I am proud of you. This song is for those who heard the silent cries, who stepped in to wipe the tears from the children's eyes. For those who gave us a safe place to grow, a place for us to call our home, forever we will know.
In kindergarten with Bracha, I loved learning about all the Jewish holidays because it was something new that we had never learned before. And I'll always remember making challahs on Friday. Thank you, Bracha.
Ricky and Jean inspired me by, they really started my education because that's how we started at Tehiyah, and I knew that I was going to love Tehiyah since my first day of kindergarten because they made it so welcoming.
For me, they inspired me to read because I always saw books and I always wanted to know how to read them, and then we learned the alphabet and I thought it was really fun.
In first grade with Maggie, I loved learning about the tide pools and I loved singing. She really taught me a lot about music, and I've gone on and taken a lot of that with me. Thank you, Maggie.
In first grade, I had Anna, and one thing I really remember about first grade is learning about marine mammals and going to the tide pools, and I had a really good time in first grade.
In second grade, Deborah was my teacher, and math was my favorite subject starting from second grade because of Deborah. She made math really fun, and we used fractions with food, such as pound cake, so it was really interactive, and from then on, math was my favorite subject. Thank you, Deborah.
I had Bob in third grade, and he was one of the greatest teachers I've ever had. I learned a huge amount from him, and he was just a really great, nice guy. And I remember sitting in his class and just listening more intently than in any other class, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Bob.
In fourth grade with Judy, I remember when she used to read us books, and I really loved when she read us books because, well, they were all really interesting, and they're some of my favorite books today. Thank you, Judy.
In fourth grade with Allison, I loved learning about math and creative writing, and that also was kind of like a base for the rest of Tehiyah, and it was really useful this year in 8th grade. Thank you, Allison.
I remember in 4th grade I was in Ruth's class, and I remember doing the disability unit and how she would explain each disability to us and then have someone with that disability come in and talk to us. And whenever I see someone with a disability, I remember what she taught us and how that's always helped me to feel more comfortable around people with disabilities and that they're just like us. So I want to say thank you to her.
In 5th grade, Gail taught me math, and she taught me how to take really good math notes. Thank you, Gail.
I had Gail, and she helped me a lot with my writing skills, so thank you, Gail. A lot.
So in 6th grade, I had Mr. Ryan as my history teacher and English. And as a history teacher, he always gave us maps to do. And I took a long time to do those maps, but eventually I got them done, and it felt great.
He also was the sports teacher. He always played sports with us, and it was fun to have him as a teacher. Thanks.
I wanted to say thank you to Mr. Lyon for being such a great history teacher to us in 6th grade and always playing sports with us at recess. Thank you, Mr. Lyon.
Mr. Lyon, thank you. You taught me in 6th grade. That was incredible. I learned a lot about the Greeks and just ancient history in general. And then I have to say, your class, I had a lot of great memories, but the best memories were after I was in your class, and just Israel mostly, and just creating a friendship with an old teacher I thought was nice. And we've had a lot of fun. Thank you.
I had such a great time in Miss Knack's class. She taught me so much, and I was so happy to have her for elective financial literacy this year, and then of course for sex ed. So thank you, Miss Knack.
This is Daniel, and I had Miss Knack for 3 years, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade for electives, and it was really fun because she's an awesome teacher, and it's been a great 3 years, and thank you for that.
Ms. Piper really instilled sort of really great interest in different cultures and the world and different people and places around the globe, so thank you, Ms. Piper.
Thanks to Ms. Prouse, this year in math, I've learned the most than I think I ever have. She's really helped me to get ready and prepare for high school, and I feel really thankful to have had her as a teacher. So thank you so much, Ms. Prouse.
I really like the way she teaches and how she makes it easier for all of us and doesn't make everything complicated and confusing. And so, thanks.
History is probably my favorite topic, and I can easily say I learned more in Mr. T's class than any other class ever. We spanned from the beginnings of the Revolution through the Civil War, and I learned definitely more than in any other class, and I really, really liked Mr. T, and he was a great teacher. Thank you.
I had Mr. T for English and History, and I really learned a lot about the foundation of our country in his class. Thank you, Mr. T.
This year, you exceeded everything, all my expectations for any English or history teacher. And you taught me a lot about writing and even more about American history. I feel like I'm a Civil War buff now.
Mr. Carroll was my 8th grade teacher for science, and I remember at the beginning of the year he had a bunch of buckets full of blocks, and he would always just kind of fiddle with them during class, and he would when he was teaching us, and I thought that was really funny. And at the beginning of the year we always used to do experiments with blocks, and I just liked how he loved blocks, and that was really funny for me. Thanks, Mr. Carroll.
I'll remember Mr. Carroll because, well, it's another test question. It's that on our first chemistry test, I think it was our first chemistry test, he had the question, do frogs like chocolate milk after they finish jumping? I think it was something like that. And I answered, no, they prefer horchata, and got extra points. I mean, everyone got extra points for their answer, but I just love the eccentricity of his tests, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. No, you know, meant in the best way. So thank you, Mr. Carroll.
And he's just a great guy, and he's an amazing teacher, and I learned a lot from his class.
In 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, I had Marav as my Hebrew teacher, and I loved Marav, and we always had so much fun in Hebrew, and I learned so much. Toda Rabah, Marav.
In middle school with Mirav, I loved learning Hebrew. It was always very fun and very relaxed, and I learned a lot. I'll always remember the NETA program and our parties at the end of finishing the books. Thank you, Mirav.
So I learned a lot from Mira. I just learned so much, and she really gave me the confidence to make the effort to learn. Hebrew has never been really easy for me, but she made me feel like I really could learn Hebrew, and that gave me the confidence to work harder in it. And I'm just really thankful for that. I've really enjoyed Hebrew this year.
Really inspired me and showed me that learning a language can be interesting and entertaining and not just, memorizing grammar and rules and all that. So thank you, Mira.
8th grade with Nurit, I loved Hebrew, and I remember we used to make comics about the Torah, and she brought some of them back and showed them to us, and I love Hebrew this year. Toda rabah, Nurit.
I love learning Hebrew with Nurit, and she makes it really fun and exciting, and learning Hebrew is great, so thank you, Nurit.
In 1st and 2nd grade, I had Yehudit as my Hebrew teacher, and it was fun, and I got to learn a lot of Hebrew. Toda.
I remember when I was a little girl, I loved Dina. She was always really nice, and we learned such interesting things with her. We read Robinson Crusoe once, and she used to play us Hebrew songs. She was just a really fun and loving person. Thank you.
So I had Yara as a Hebrew teacher this year, and we've had a lot of fun in class. It's been, a good year. I like the way she teaches, how she incorporates music with our curriculum, and we have a small class, so that's nice, and I've just had a good time. Thank you.
So, in 8th grade with Zipia, I loved learning about JS because she always spoke from the heart and what her emotions are and what she knows about everything. I'll always remember that when we went to the Israel trip and my arm wasn't in a very good condition, she was always there for me, and even though I couldn't do many of the stuff, she helped me go through with it and still be happy. Thank you, Tzipi, and Toda.
Avinoam was really fun, and I always like talking to him because he's really funny, and he's super cool, so thank you, Avinoam.
Him, you taught me for 5 years, I think, and I remember having a lot of fun in your class and learning a lot about sports. All the games we played, I think, were great, and yeah, thank you.
So I've had Rebecca for this half semester in the elective jazz band. And the great thing about her is that she does not get mad. Whatever you do, she is just the most lighthearted and kindest person that I know.
I remember this year with Janet when some of the 8th graders made a sign for graduation, and how helpful she was to help us think of an idea, and when we decided to make a Tree of Life, how supportive she was, and I want to say thank you to her.
Thank you, Coach, for coaching me and teaching me for the past 2 years. It's been really fun, and I've learned a lot. It's been great playing on the court or on the field with you. Thank you.
Grade with Alan, I love learning about everything since he helped me with what I needed help with.
She's such a great percussionist, and she adds such a vibe to the school, and every school, I think every school and every community should have some sort of music to kind of communicate without words per se, and that's just great, and she adds that to our school.
When I was little, one of my favorite parts of the week was going to library class. We would sit in circles and listen to stories that Marcia read us. She was always so nice, and she read us the most interesting things. Since then, I've continued to go back to the library and get books, and she's always been really supportive and gave me new books to read each time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ta-da.